All right, we are here with Dontavian Smith, Person High School graduation class of 2017, former two-time high school All-American track athlete, simultaneously a member of the National Honor Society in high school, 2021 graduate of the University of North Carolina, where you were a four-year scholar athlete, track standout, even managing to be named to the ACC Academic Honor Roll. So you've done a lot in a short period of time, and so we just want to know about your life, want to know about all the things that motivate you, the different experiences and successes that you have had over the years. So the first question we're going to ask is, tell us about your upbringing in Person County.
Yeah. Thank you for the recognition. You did leave one thing out though. It was that state championship in high school. But yeah, my upbringing is from Roxborough. It all began on Boston Road. My grandma, her husband, my mama, my aunt, my uncle. We lived in this big house, and we stayed out there for a while. I had my dad, I go stay with him on the weekends at my grandma's house. Best times of my life. I grew up fast there, learned a lot of things, a lot of life lessons. I always was, the one that was, I was different. Like I was that one guy who was always in the higher up classes, but I was the only one that looked like me. And so I was always in a place of like, standing out as well as being in uncomfortable situations sometimes. But it made me grow into a person to where like now I could stand in any type of room with anybody. And that's what makes me believe that I can, do anything that I want to do. But then it came in like 4th, 5th grade. I met Coach Ben Tabor, joined the PC Stars. And that's when I started falling in love with sports. And that's when like my drive and where I knew I was finna like become the best at what I do. So I used to score like 6 touchdowns a game. People used to travel all the way to South Boston just to watch me play football. And then it came in 6th grade. Started in Southern Middle School, ran track there, was on the JV side of the little 5th quarter guys on the football team in 7th grade. And really didn't, nobody really knew who I was still then. Like a lot of people would talk about it, but they didn't really know who I was. And then it was in 7th grade. I remember them it was the Northern versus Southern game. They gave me a sweep toss. I scored a touchdown. And I was only in 7th grade and everybody was like, oh, he's going to be good next year. He's going to be good. But then it came track season in 7th grade. And I went undefeated, never lost a race. And that's when even the high school coaches started to come watch me run track in 7th grade. And then 8th grade came, same thing, never lost a race, scoring 7 touchdowns a game in football. And then 9th grade came. That's when it really, I really took off because I joined the JV team. I think we went 7-1 that year, lost the Hillside in the Pac-6 championship by 7 points. That was the worst heartbreak. I still never forgive Antonio for that game. And that was that was like the upbringing from, my childhood all the way up until high school.
So tell us more about your high school career, your high school life. I know during that time you started building a relationship with Caretha and Willie Williams through your friends Antonio Williams and Malik Williams, and you also began to blossom in athletics, particularly track, as well as the classroom. So tell us about how all these relationships came to be and how they really helped you to blossom and become great in both the sports world and the academic world.
Yeah. Yeah, it came in 9th grade. Me and Antonio. Antonio was the quarterback. I was the running back. So we obviously had a good relationship already right there in itself. And me and Antonio and Tay, we would all hang out every weekend together, go to Palace Point. just do things together. And Mama Ree, she worked at Southern when I was in 7th grade. She was actually my substitute teacher in 3rd grade for a whole school year because my real teacher was out for maternity leave. And then Full Circle came in middle school. She was my cafeteria teacher. So she would just give me extra cookies and stuff all the time, ask me how I was doing. When I used to take Spanish class, she would come in there, she'd be doing her work on the computer. And I just loved her like right then and there. And then it came in like 9th grade. You know, I love my relationship with my real mama. But she, you know, 9th grade, she was like, you know, we moving to Greensboro. And I was just like, you know, that ain't nothing that I, you know, really want to do right now. Like, this is where I'm at right now. And everything is going right. That's supposed to be going right now. And I don't want to do that. And she was like, okay. Like, and so for a while, we was coming from Greensboro to Roxboro every day for me to go to school at person. But I mean, for everybody, we know that's a lot. Like, that's a lot on a single mama. And so I was just like, well, I figure something out. Like, you know, I'm finna go and spread my wings. Like, I'll find somewhere to go. So I stayed with my best friend, Austin, for like a month and a half. And then, you know, I asked Antonio, I was like, bro, can I come? Cause I didn't want to be a burden for him and his family. So I was like, can I come stay with you for a week? You know, and then it would come to another week. Can I come stay with you for a week? And I'd just be up in the room, you know, just eat, take my shower and just sit in the room. They're like, man, you could come out, you could talk to us and stuff. And I'm just like, no, I'm okay. Like, I'm good. But then after a while, I started to open up because they started treating me like I was a part of their family. You know, I was their son. And then they start calling me son, and I start calling them mom and dad. I start calling Naraya, Malik, and Antonio brother and sister. And I mean, right then and there, that's when that family bond came, and that's when all that love came. And so as a teenage boy, you know, that's all you can ask for. You can handle the rest. You just need that love and support. And that's what I was needing at that time. And they definitely fulfilled that. And so that's when I moved in with them, and she was like, you know, you can stay to the whole school year. I was the best kid I could be for that whole school year. I just went to practice, studied, did my work, came home. I was like, I don't want no trouble. I just want to be the best kid that like I could be for them. And then they was like, you know, if you don't want to leave, you don't gotta leave. So I was like, okay, I'm not leaving. And me and my real mom, that's when our like relationship started to, you know, deteriorate a little bit. Like, we good now, but like then, like that's when it had got deteriorated a little bit, just because, you know, her son was saying like he's gone. And I stayed there, and like I say, like as a teenage boy, all you need is that love and support. You can handle the rest. And so in 10th grade, you know, me and Antonio, that summer, he just kept throwing me the ball. I just catch it. He'd throw me the ball, I catch it. Because everybody used to talk about I couldn't catch in football. So Antonio just throw me the ball, throw me the ball, throw me the ball. So the year before, I broke the kick return record for a 98-yard kick return. And so that, right then and there, I was already going off of a high confidence. And so I went into that summer, you know, catching the ball, you know, throwing it with Antonio every day, as well as I was still doing AAU track and field, because that year before that, I had went to the state championship and qualified as a freshman. And I was the only freshman there. And then, yeah, in 10th grade, that's when me and Antonio had moved in together. We was throwing the ball together. But then in August came, I found out that I could stay the whole year. So I'm like, okay, I'm comfortable. Like, I got confidence. I know I got a place to stay. Like, I'm good. Like, this is all I need. Now I can focus on the next steps of my life, which is I want to go to college because I want my own place. You know, at that point, I felt like I didn't have nobody. And so in 10th grade, I was just like, man, like, I made that decision that, like, I'm going to get me a scholarship. I'm going to go to college. I'm going to be on my own. I'm going to have my own. And so that's when I started to just grind it out and score touchdown after touchdown and win races like in high school, and broke the school record my sophomore year in the 100-meter dash, and then never ran the 200 all the way until 11th grade. And then that's when I broke the school record again. Was top 10 in North Carolina all time at that time. Won the state championship in 11th grade. Went to nationals, was All-American, had won indoor nationals that year. College coaches started sending letters. I was just like, man, like, this is what I prayed for. Because at that time, like, I really had got close to God. Like, I was in 10th grade and I really had got close to God because that's all I had. Like, that's the only person that I could talk to and tell them how I really felt. Because, you know, I'm like, yeah, they was my family, but at the end of the day, like, that ain't where I was like born from and where I was like most of my life at that time. And so like, it was different from me. And that's when I built that relationship. And that's when also Mama Reed, we started going to church. And like, that's when I really started loving her even more, because it's like, okay, like, she care about me for real to take me to church, for me to have my soul right, as well as me be able to accomplish these things in life. And that's really just where like the foundation for us came from, as far as that high school thing.